What would happen if we collected the waste of all 8 billion people on Earth and dumped it right into the center of the Pacific Ocean? If you have ever gone camping and had to do your business in the woods, you know the drill. Within minutes, insects swarm it. 2 days later, it is a thriving mini ecosystem. To us, it is disgusting. To nature, it is a 5-star meal packed with nitrogen, phosphorus, and protein. It is basically a winning lottery ticket for the soil. Now consider the middle of the ocean. It is actually a biological desert. Areas like Point Nemo are 22 million square kilometers of emptiness because there are no nutrients flowing in from the land. It is vast, empty, and hungry. If we suddenly injected that nutrient-poor water with the daily output of humanity, which is about 1.2 million tons of organic matter, the short-term result would be a miracle. We would accidentally create a superfishery. First, the phytoplankton and algae would explode in population. Since they are the bottom of the food chain, the zooplankton would follow. Then come the shrimp, the sardines, and finally the apex predators. We would essentially turn a dead zone into the busiest buffet on Earth. The fish would think they found Atlantis. But in the long term, this plan backfires hard. When you dump that much organic material, you trigger a process called eutrophication. Eventually, the waste and the dead algae sink. Bacteria start breaking them down, and that process consumes oxygen. Because we are dumping 1.2 million tons every single day, the bacteria consume all the oxygen in the water. This creates a hypoxic zone. The water literally suffocates. Fish either flee or die instantly. The seafloor becomes a graveyard, releasing toxic hydrogen sulfide gas. The only things that survive are anaerobic bacteria. It goes from a paradise to a toxic wasteland very quickly. So if we can't feed the fish, can we at least build land? People always point to Nauru, the island nation that was formed by thousands of years of bird droppings piling up on a coral reef. If birds can build an island, surely 8 billion humans can do it faster. The answer is a hard no. Human waste is about 75% water. When you dump it into the ocean, it doesn't stack, it dissolves. The solid matter suspends in the water and floats away. It makes a soup, not a foundation. Even if we took the entire world's output for a whole year, dried it out completely, and compressed it into a solid rock, the volume is tiny. It would form a cube with sides of about 400 meters. The average depth of the Pacific Ocean is 4,000 meters. You would need decades just to pile up enough solids to reach the surface. And by then, the ocean currents would have spread it halfway to Hawaii. Nauru worked because the birds had a coral reef to stand on. We would just be dumping sludge into the abyss. So no poop island for us, just a very smelly, very dead ocean.